Well, greetings once again. After my last video when I talked about regaining the ability to do some things with my right hand, like take Kleenex out of a box, it may seem like a really minor thing, but I thought what I might do in this episode is try to describe to you a little bit about what it's like for me with my situation. You may have heard me say that no two strokes are alike and no two stroke patients are alike. One thing, though, that you have in common is after a stroke, pretty typically there are things you can't do anymore. Some people can't talk, like some people like me can't really move very well. Other people have different kinds of problems. Well, anyway, whatever you can't do, they refer to as a deficit. So I have mobility deficits on my right side. I kind of don't like that term deficit. To me, it sounds like a bookkeeping problem. Like, well, we'll just raise taxes on my left side to compensate for a loss on the right side, and so we'll balance out the deficit. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So, a lot of times, your brain's ability to adapt, which is called neuroplasticity, can vary from person to person and situation to situation. And one thing that's pretty common is that it decreases with age. And as you can tell, I'm not exactly a young man, so neuroplasticity is a real challenge. But anyway, so in my particular case, my stroke is what's known as a pure motor stroke. That means it affected my motor nerves, my ability to move, but not certain other things. Like I don't have memory problems, I don't have speech problems, I don't have problems swallowing or breathing. There are just about anything. You mess with the brain, and just about anything can go wrong. So in that sense, I'm actually kind of fortunate in that only my mobility on my right side was limited. But what does that really mean? I mean, well, it's like this. Imagine, if you will, my right hand is sort of like I have to wear an oven mitt and manipulate with my oven mitt. And also, my right arm is limited in how far I can raise it, move it forwards and back. So imagine sort of having your arm in a cast. So your arm's in a cast and your hand's in an oven mitt. And now imagine that with your good hand, about every couple of minutes, you have a 3 pound rubber mallet and you hit yourself in various parts of the body constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's kind of what my pain experience is like. So not only do I have trouble moving, but I hurt all the time. Now, okay, you got that picture, right? Now, imagine doing that for 7 years. And that's kind of what I've been up against. I mean, imagine what you were doing 7 years ago and what you've been doing since then. For me, it's like not a whole lot because I can't really move very well. Plus I'm not getting any younger. I'm in an age when a lot of the people who were alive when I had my stroke are no longer with us. Um, uh, as I mentioned in my last video, there were some personal family things that had happened. And I'll just touch on this briefly. I found out 2 months after the fact that my twin brother had died. And that makes me the last surviving member of our nuclear family. And frankly, it's kind of weird for me to get used to that. But anyway, getting back to my mobility issues then. Okay, we discussed my right arm. What about my right leg? Well, I can move my right leg a little bit better so that I'm able to drive. I can work the pedals. I can sort of walk. If you saw that old video of me taking my first steps, yeah, I can walk without a cane for short distances, and as long as it's not crowded, and as long as it's level, and as long as the pavement isn't wet, and as long as certain other things are there. Otherwise, I have to use a cane. So, as you can imagine, this isn't fun. This is very limiting. Even when I do walk, I walk very, very slowly. My joke is, as I'm moving along at a snail's pace, my joke is, I am hurrying. It's like this is me hurrying. I couldn't walk any faster if I was on fire. It's good that I can laugh about it because it's really not funny. Anyway, that gives you some idea, that the body wants to move and it can't, and over time you get this condition called learned disuse, that you just forget that you have half your body. Your brain forgets it's there, so it doesn't even try. And you look down at your right side, and in my case, I can look at my right hand and it won't obey me. And there are times when I would think, what is that thing? What's it doing there? Why isn't it cooperating? But that's actually getting better because now I noticed when I was lying in bed the other night trying to fall asleep that I could feel both my hands at the same time, which is news. That's real news. So glad to share that with you. Anyway, thanks again for watching. If you have questions or comments, certainly leave them here. Send me an email. Subscribe. Tell your friends. You know the drill. Always love hearing from people. And we will see you in the next episode. Thanks. See you soon.